Good morning, Phuntsok.
Good morning, Mark. See, I now got your name correct.
You did.
Mark.
It's taken us 10 episodes and 2 seasons, but put her there. You finally did. You finally did it.
So here Mark is
Yeah.
giving me his handshake.
A handshake. Yeah.
So I still have to work on your last name. Help me out.
Sure.
Mark.
Schurmacher. Yeah.
Schumacher.
German. Yeah.
German, huh?
Mark John Schumacher.
Mark John Schumacher.
So there's a lot of shoemakers
Uh-huh.
in the world, like the last name Shoemaker.
Uh-huh.
Even in America, there's a lot of shoemakers.
Mm-hmm.
There's Schumachers,
Schumachers.
spelled totally differently.
Okay.
So Schurmacher,
Mm-hmm.
there's not as many of us. Although I'm finding a lot more on Facebook and stuff
Yeah.
than there used to be.
Oh.
When my grandpa came here from Germany in 1929 or something,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it was spelled a different way. And then the people on Ellis Island, or not Ellis Island, he actually came through Canada, so they probably spelled it differently because they didn't know what he was saying. I don't know if he spoke English or not. Probably not.
So
Schumacher is...
Schumacher.
Everybody gets it wrong all the time.
So you're not Shoemaker. Schumacher.
I'm not, no.
No wonder you're not wearing a shoe today.
I'm not. I'm wearing sandals, yeah. Schurmacher, I've heard it means either a maker of umbrellas
Oh.
or maker of horse bridles, those kind of leather head.
Like in the movies, yeah. I know.
A bridle fits in their mouth, and they bite the bit, and it helps to, steer the.
So their specialization or trade or profession is they're good at making that. That's why the name came.
That's what I think. Yeah.
Oh.
That's what I've been told.
You have been told you were not born at the time, huh?
I wasn't. I used to work in a cabinet shop as a woodworker 20 years ago, and there was a German guy who came and lived here and worked in the shop with us. His name was Ulf, U-L-F. And I asked him, I said, Ulf, what does my last name mean, Schurmacher? He says, it's nothing. It's like Larson or Smith or Johnson. It's just a name that had a meaning once, but it lost its meaning a long time ago. You're not special. And I thought that was a very German, just black and white, clear-cut, thing to say. And I'm mostly German, some Swedish, mostly German. So that was my education into how to answer questions for people. Just to the point.
Let me say that the last name Schumacher, even though I tried, it'll take another 10 months or so to
Figure it
get
out.
perfected. Have patience in the meantime. What I'm going to ask is, isn't that interesting that the syllable, the sound, the phonetic, the syllable, right, the vowel, I don't have that. Therefore, it takes a little bit of practice to get to the correct pronunciation of how your last name should be. That's also another conditioning. So interesting. So I will work on that. Do you know what is the meaning of that? You said it's not a shoemaker. It's not. What does it mean in German language? The last name.
Yeah. So
Ulf said nothing special.
Nothing.
But there is no meaning to the name.
well, I've looked it up and talked to a few different people, and macher, the last part of it is a maker, like someone who makes something, right? And sure, the first part can either mean an umbrella, like that you carry in the rain, an umbrella, or a horse bridle, that the reins and the bridle that goes around the horse's head. So a Schurmacher would have been someone who made either an umbrella or a horse bridle. I could find out the exact city where my grandfather is from. And my dad, shout out Dick Schurmacher, we're actually going to his home country of Canada in about a week to see his brother and his cousin. And I can ask, what city did Grandpa Johann Schurmacher come from? And then I can trace what happened in that city. What did they make there? What are the other Schurmachers there? Where did it come from? So I could learn.
Okay,
Yeah.
it'll be in the next episode. Looking forward to hear.
I will not let you down, Phuntsok.
Wow.
Phuntsok Dundup.
See, my name Phuntsok Tundup in Tibetan, there is this meaning for what I'm not trying to say my name is special.
It means annoying guy that talks a lot during his own podcast, right?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's a burn. That's a burn. That wasn't fair. Listener, I take that back. No, I don't take it back. It's out there. I can't take it back. I said it. Phuntsok Dundup. You were saying before I rudely smeared you.
It's okay. I do meditate, so I know when to shut up and when to meditate. So
you can teach me when to shut up.
Everything has its own, what they call it. Yeah.
What does your name mean? You were saying.
Phuntsok Tundup. Oh, it'll take another full episode to go around. So, and like you just said, I'll be rambling and.
It's a common name though, isn't it? Phuntsok is
common,
somewhat common in Tibetan and Indian, or more Tibetan.
Why would I have an Indian name? I'm a Tibetan.
I know, but you were born in India, so maybe your parents were influenced by. Maybe they wanted you to blend in, so you wouldn't stick out and be a target of the Chinese regime that had just taken over. I'm serious.
Yeah, they're being protective, right?
So assimilation, was that a thing? Like, when the Tibetans fled in 1959 from Tibet and they landed in India and other parts of the world there, did they try to blend in so they wouldn't get found, or did they just go with their own? Did your family just stick with the Tibetan?
My name is purely Tibetan, and Phuntsok means abundance and excellence, or abundance of excellence, which I don't have to mention because you already see that in me.
It is very true, yes, sir.
Everyone on listening to the podcast, or those who know Phuntsok already know, so I don't have to explain it.
It's quite accurate. I will tell you, that listener, that Phuntsok is abundant in excellence. You don't want to do anything that isn't excellent. And I've learned that about you, and I'm very serious right now.
Really?
With our podcast, when we get together and we record, you want what you're involved with in life, everything to be excellent. And that's very admirable.
So the last name Tundup means fulfillment of wishes, or kind of accomplishment of all the aspirations of, all some. Usually it means the aspirations. What I meant by is noble intentions, kind of. But thank you for explaining your background of.
You too. And welcome to Tibet USA.
We it's already recording.
Yeah, we're recording. So
we're all. I'm sure you. It's all.
I don't think we said that yet. I was just saying that.
Did you welcome? Oh, we said good morning.
I said good morning.
No, see hit the singing bowl.
Let's do it.
Welcome to Tibet USA, Mark.
Thank you, Phuntsok.
We've been recording this podcast so many times. We started without me knowing that it already started. So now it kind of, once bitten, twice shy, kind of. I
don't do those surprise starts anymore. I mean, I might throw one in. Like, I'm not, I can't promise. But generally, I know that you like to be prepared, so.
What you got for me today?
What do I have for you today? That's a big, that's just jumping right into it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, time is short. Life is short. We have about an hour in our studio today. We're in Mounds View, Minnesota. I brought my guitar.
Yeah, I see that. I saw that. And some tomatoes.
Yeah, so we are Tibet USA, two dudes talking Dharma, dreams, and donuts. So we talk about Dharma, the nature of everything. I'm still learning about that. Dreams, which can be our personal aspirations, your dream, yoga, traveling, meditation that you work on. Dreams can cover a lot of things. And donuts, of course, is sort of a metaphor for just fun little tasty things, right? So today I brought donuts in that are small and round and have little green tops.
Yeah.
And they're cherry tomatoes.
Cherry tomatoes.
Tomatoes.
Homegrown.
Homegrown.
Organic.
I picked them, yep, totally organic. There's no pesticides used. Do you eat tomatoes?
I do.
You do. I'm not a huge tomato fan, but I do like the cherry tomatoes because they're not too tomatoey. I'm going to eat one right now for the listener to hear. Here we go. I'm going to bite into this little cherry tomato. I'm chewing it. Okay. It's very sweet. It's small. It's got seeds in it. The skin on the outside is kind of a little bit unyielding, and you pop it with your teeth, and then all the tomato stuff inside comes out. Very tomatoey. Sweet. So there it is. That's the donut of the day, is the cherry tomato.
I'm sorry for the tomato.
Yeah, well.
Because it turned red when tomato saw you.
Yeah, I was embarrassed. The thing about tomatoes, why I brought this food in today, the donut that we're talking about today, the donut, the air quote donut, is that in Minnesota and in life, excuse me.
Hey, what did the big tomato say to the little tomato?
I don't know.
Catch up.
He's telling jokes now. When did this happen? When did this happen?
Mark's influence.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm taking that as a compliment.
So what were you saying?
Yes, I was saying, and feel free if you have more jokes, just bring them on. Bring them on. Because you need practice. And that's a backhanded compliment. The Minnesotans are really good at backhanded compliments, like the...
I'm here today to practice my patience and compassion.
Yes, towards Mark and all the listeners that have to put up with him. My wife has been putting up with me for 26 years, so God bless her. Shout out, Freya. The reason I brought the tomato in is in life, as in the growing season in Minnesota, it is so short. We only have May, June, July, and August, I would say. Some of September to grow the food that we eat all year. So the tomatoes grow in the summertime. The raspberries grow in the summertime. Carrots, onions, and then the apples grow in the fall. And I think we've talked about apples before in the podcast.
We did.
How they're the kiss, the final kiss of summer before we head into the coldness of the fall and the winter. But I have to remind myself constantly to enjoy the little beauties and the gifts of today. And so the tomato is the gift of this season now in Minnesota, and it's our little reminder to admire it, to think about the seeds inside, that they may grow more tomatoes. What can we make with this? We can make spaghetti sauce. We can make... what's that? My son makes it really, really good, like mozzarella and thyme and, there's a word for it. It's an Italian dish. But so anyway, thank you, nature. Thank you, God. Thank you, Great Spirit, for creating the tomato and giving me taste buds to appreciate it. I'm eating another one.
Wow. But I just wanted to add a little bit on what you just said about two dudes talking Dharma, dreams, and donuts. When you said about dreams, I think in this particular, podcast, what I meant, what I see as dream is it's about waking up in every layer of existence. Even when you're asleep, there is a practice you can do. It trains us to see through illusion or carry a mindfulness, even in dream. practice compassion even in dream, insights into all states of consciousness, not just waking state, even in dream state. Waking, dreaming, sleeping, and dying. That's why we touched on parto, the intermediate state. After you die, there is this dying, and then, waking up, and then waking life, and then dying, and then this parto state, and then again reborn. So it talks about reincarnation. It has to have understanding of Tibetan Buddhism or Buddhism in general to understand those different phases of intermediate states. So for me, in essence, the dreams, donuts, Dharma dreams and donuts, dreams I meant that dimension as well. And of course, dreams as aspirations that encompasses that as well. The greatest gift in my culture, my tradition, my people, when they say, what is the greatest gift one can give to somebody? Do you know that? The greatest gift one can give to somebody is the gift of Dharma. And then you'll be asking me, what is Dharma, right?
The gift of Dharma.
Dharma,
okay.
yeah. So...
Yeah, what do you mean by that? Because it's the nature of everything, is what I understand it to be, and I have a
true nature of everything.
Super shallow understanding of it.
No, that's good. Now, you have to extend this understanding a little bit further. So it'll be like this. So when in my Buddha, I want to give an example of Buddha in Buddhism, when he got enlightened, right? Initially, when he got enlightened, 2,500 and some years ago in India, at that time it wasn't called India or Nepal, but that place, when he got enlightened, he wasn't ready to teach what is enlightenment or what is awakening them, what is the true nature of all of this. When he realized this, that's it, I found it, right? I realized. He wasn't ready to teach because it's very profound and subtle, because we humans are so conditioned to process through different lenses that are so conditioned. So by teaching that true nature of the things directly, it'll confuse them, right? It'll confuse them and they will not understand. So he was not reluctant, but he didn't teach right away. But slowly, then he started teaching. They call it the wheel of Dharma, turning the wheel of Dharma. Chogor rimba sum korwa, which means chö kor. Chö means Dharma. Kor means turning the wheel. Wheel of Dharma. If you go to India or in Nepal or in Tibet, you will see Buddhist monasteries, and on the top of those monasteries, there you will see a wheel that symbolizes Buddha's turning of the wheel of Dharma. The Dharma is that he teaches that the true nature of the things, which is Dharma. So when you teach somebody, give that insightful knowledge or understanding, or help them awaken a little bit.
A glimpse.
That they're saying that's Dharma, that you taught Dharma. So that kind of gift is the greatest gift. Of course, you would prefer a diamond or Bitcoin or something like that, right? In this day and age, not you, but in general. But that those teachings are valued more at that time. So they will say that the greatest gift one can give to someone is the gift of Dharma, if that makes sense. So Dharma, now you got Dharma, Chö in Tibetan, Chö in Tibetan,
Chö.
And you will go to attend, or you will go to high lamas or high rinpoches or gurus. You will say, teach me some Dharma. I want to receive some Dharma from you. Chö Shuga Chari in Tibetan. I've come here to receive some teachings. Dharma. I've come here to receive the Dharma teachings. Dharma. They talk about Dharma.
So you would say that just literally?
Yeah,
to
literally
someone?
you will say that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So if you see a great scholar, Buddhist scholar, in my culture,
I'm sitting across from one right now.
and then you will say, you will not talk about some other stuffs, but you will say, could you please, means could you please bless us or teach us some Dharma here? And then he will say, oh, look at sometimes. He'll teach about compassion. He'll teach about the empty nature of the things. He'll teach about interdependence. He'll teach about self, not self, all of that. So we can go on and on. I don't want to take on
super
this.
Super interesting.
Really?
What about small talk? When you go to a teacher and you say, teach me about the Dharma, teach me about the true nature of things. Is there small talk that happens before that, or does it just like...
It depends on what you meant by small talk. Some talk, some are surface talk, but if you indulge too much on that, and the profundity, or what is this depth is not there, it's very exhausting and tiring and draining, and superficiality of the thing. So Dharma actually wants to get to the core of the true nature of the things. But at the same time, I know where you're going with the question. You do acknowledge the very existence of you and say, how are you? And your feelings, your perceptions, your sensations, your point of view. I acknowledge that. I respect that. That's your reality. Taking those into considerations, I understand you, and I see you, that I've been there too. I know that confusion. I know that pain. I've been there. I can relate to. So from there, they will not put you down or disrespect you or mad at you, impatient to you, but they will rather handle with the care, with compassion, with clarity. They will bring their presence. And I was with one of the Buddhist monk in some corner. I don't want to. It's one place, and another Westerner American. So surprised to see the Buddhist monk sitting there at the corner in red robes. They dress red robes color, right? The maroon dress, bald head. And I sarcastically joked and said, "Is he that guy?" And he was like, "Yeah, he's cool." He's like, "I want to talk to him." I was like, "Yeah, you can say all kinds of bad things to him. He will never get angry. I'll bet you $100 that you try to provoke him. He will not be mad."
He's not going to do it.
And then the American guy, I'm just trying to use the word American just to say that he's not Tibetan Buddhist.
Yeah.
So I can see that, right? Is it what you call blonde hair? I says, you try to provoke him, I'll guarantee you. And he was like, "Yeah, I feel that." And he was looking at it like, strange, came from a different planet or something. And Buddhist monk, very knowledgeable, highly realized monk, and he was sitting quiet like this and smiling and not even looking at the person who's staring at, literally looking at him like you just came out of the museum. Where did you come from? He giving him that look, and he was like composed, calm. And I'm a middle guy, right? I just wanted to. It's very interesting interaction between these two, even though they don't know each other. We just happen to be together at that same location. And am I going too far now?
No, you got to finish the story now.
And he's like, "Wow," and it's like, "Hey, you have any questions for him?" He said, "It's like, no." He's shocked to see a Buddhist monk. I think he said, "I have never met a Buddhist monk."
Yeah, but he's in India, so you'd think that would
No, it's not in India. It's in an airport at one place in America.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to get to is that he has a question, but like, is he married? Kind of question. It's like, your questions are so funny, but it's interesting that the person who's meeting the Buddhist monk is very genuine, and it's flowing organically, and fascinated to see the Buddhist monk, and Buddhist monk sitting quiet. It's just like not even looking at it, not even bothered about. He's staring at, looking at him. And what I'm trying to get to is that once you are fully contained in yourself, once you have awakened that deeper dimensions of who you are inside, I guess the outside doesn't matter. It seems like he just composed, quiet. He just smiles. Even if somebody says something bad to him, he won't get riled up.
We've
Even
talked about that before.
Somebody compliments him, he will not be happy.
Get a big head.
Yeah. Ego.
We've talked about that before too, outside and inside, and how the inside of us affects the outside of us, and the outside of us affects the inside of us. And it's a very Buddhist, very Christian. I think that's something they share too, is the struggle to balance the two, because we're physical beings living in a physical world. We can't deny that. We need to eat, we need to drink, we need to have other people in our life to give us perspective. We can't just live alone. But yet we have to be tied to something far beyond this world, or the world will devour us, or we will lose ourselves in this world and we won't know why we're here. And that's a very, very Christian ideal, and a very Buddhist ideal too. And I think both traditions can go too far and isolate themselves, or misread it, and miss the mark. But those intersections are kind of why we're here.
Yeah, I love the
Right?
one of the episodes that you and I had. Kind of deep exploration where I said something about no self, anatman, and you said you have some reservations on that. Is that okay to say that?
Me?
Yeah, a reservation in the sense you are not fully accepting or ready to, or you still want to explore?
Yeah, I think it's actually, I can connect to the Christian ideal of when Jesus says, you have to lose yourself to find me. You have to shed your strivings of this world and lose your ambitions to follow me, and to learn what I want to teach you. And
Beautiful.
To me, that's very much like the self, not self.
Beautiful. Let me hit the singing ball here.
Hit the singing bowl.
Man.
I mean, I'm a noob. I'm a noob at Buddhism. I'm a newbie. You know that phrase? A newbie, when you're new at something?
Yeah.
I'm a noob. And I'm a noob at Christianity too, although I've followed all my life. I've considered myself a Christian. I have considered myself not a Christian. I've done it all. I've gone back and forth. But at my core, I think I do love the teachings of Jesus at their purest sense. And I really strive to follow them. I don't always agree with what Christianity does now, what it looks like now, popular version of it, or what this church or that church might say about it. But Jesus saying, hey, follow me, you're going to have to lose everything. You have to give everything up to follow me, which to me means you have to give up your stake in this world, your ambitions in this world, any glory, any riches, any power in this world is gone when you follow me, because that's not the kind of kingdom that I'm building.
Wow.
He said this 2,000 years ago. And we're still trying to figure out what that looks like, I think. I'm still trying to figure out what that looks like for me, but at its core, I just think that the less I think about myself, and the more I think of others and how I can serve others, that's going to feed into that teaching. It's going to help me understand that teaching more, losing of myself. I actually wrote a song years ago about that, help me lose myself. And it's about that. It's about how I remove myself from what I want in this world and put my faith, put my trust in the Word of God to be all that I need. And it's a lifelong struggle, to lose myself.
Surrendering yourself to is that divine? I know both. There's this Master Eckhart. He's a German philosopher or writer or great seer or saint, Christian. And he said, the eye with which I see God is the same eye with which God sees me. I don't know how much I read it. I read
great.
Master Eckhart, but it may not be. Is there a Catholic and Protestant? There are different denominations. Maybe
Very.
they may this may bounce off from some other thing. I don't know. I just was reading it. I would really like to read what Master Eckhart taught. So in Tibetan, they will say that there is no independent self to protect. Only a vast heart, that embraces all being. That's that's same as saying that both are inviting into a radical surrender, to surrender of the separate self, and one Buddhism through the emptiness of all phenomena, and Christianity through fullness of divine presence. Yeah. So despite these differences, I think both path points towards inner transformation, that transcends the concept of self or other, mine or not mine kind of thing. So we do respect to the differences to respect. Tibetan Buddhism and Christianity, one is theistic, right?
Yeah.
And Buddhism is non-theistic, and Buddhism doesn't believe in permanent soul, and then Christianity believe in eternal soul created by God. Is that right? And Buddhism emphasizes on emptiness as a nature of reality, but and Christianity, love as the essence of divine reality. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's what I got it. So Buddhism emphasizes on awakening through, insight, and Christianity more so salvation through, grace and love.
And there's a lot of different ways to view it, and I think over time it's changed too. Early Christianity was much more mystical, because it was born out of, in the Bible, the creation story, Genesis, the Garden of Eden was in Iraq, modern-day Iraq, where there's a convergence of two rivers, and that is geographically in Iraq. And the story and the people in the Bible lived in that area, Lebanon and Iraq and Syria and modern-day Israel, Palestine. That's the part of the world that this story, this tradition, was created in, and that's more east than it is west. And there are people that preach and teach today who say that Christianity and Jesus' teachings are far more Eastern than they are Western, and it's only when the Roman Empire really took control of Christianity and made it the global kind of religion that it is now, that they westernized it through the mind and the writings of the Greeks, like Socrates, and shed some of the more, I don't want to say Buddhist because that's not accurate, but more of the meditative, kind of metaphysical, mystical aspects. There were early Christians who were called Gnostics, 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 which comes from the Latin gnosis, which I believe means like knowledge. And that strain of Christianity, early Christianity, was kind of weeded out by the Nicene, what was it called? I'm going to have to go to school on this, but the group of people that assembled the modern-day Bible kind of weeded out some of these Gnostic texts because they didn't like that it was kind of more open-ended. They wanted it to be more black and white, I think, so Christianity could be kind of more of a universal tool for like organization. I don't think it was a good move. I don't like that move because I think the Gnostic texts are beautiful, and they speak of a Jesus and a God and a faith that's much more kind of slower paced and meditative. It feels more Eastern to me. And also allowing of different views of what Jesus said and how to apply it. So this is all very like general, and listener, I need to go to school on this, and please comment on this too if you know more than I do, which everybody does.
Ego, beautiful.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Scratching the surface.
Ego transcendence, or in Christianity in particular, while Christianity doesn't explicitly teach no self. The many Christian mystics speaks of the dying of the ego. Mark and I may be using a different language or sometimes similar language, but maybe talking about the same, right? There's this, I feel there's a deep, fascinating resonance. Even though there's, the differences, there are key differences between no self philosophy in Tibetan Buddhism and certain teachings in Christian mysticism. I think both path explores this transcendence of the ego, the dissolution of the self-centeredness, and the realization of union with something beyond the limited self. I read this. What is this? Galatians? Galatians. Okay, Galatians. I read that, and it says, "I live, yet not I, but Christ lives in me."
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Oh.
I'm thinking. This is just a long shot, and I have to go to school.
Yeah.
For this too. So, in fact, life is a school, right?
Yeah.
So,
Tibet USA is our university.
When I live, yet not I, but Christ lives in me. The Christ here, maybe it's hinting that is the same, that Rigpa, that awareness, that awareness is just an English word. In Tibetan we call it that the deeper dimension. Is that what that Christ is? I wonder. I'm just people can comment on that, but I like this Christian mysticism. This false self, the ego, the pride, or it's emphasized that must die. It says in that I read it, that die, so that the true self, in God can be revealed. So I'm just reading because maybe I'm reading with the pre-mental notion or mental set that that's why I'm finding something that I wanted to find.
Yeah.
Maybe it's fabricated, but
I think you're well. Let me tell you what that means from my understanding of it. The Galatians was a letter that there's a man in the Bible named Paul, And he was not one of Jesus's disciples. Jesus had 12 disciples that he called, that he chose while he was doing his ministries. He started at about 30 years old, and then he died at 33. He was crucified. And during those 3 years of preaching and teaching, he gathered 12 disciples to walk with him, to teach them. And they performed miracles. They called him rabbi, which is a Jewish word for teacher. So he was their teacher, and he would say to them, he would come to them and say, "Teacher, tell me about the kingdom of heaven. Teacher, tell me about how we are to love God." And that's a little background. So when Jesus died, there was a man named Saul, who was a Jewish man who was of Roman citizenship. He was a Roman Jew, and he had kind of a position in the synagogue at that time. And he would go around and tell people, "Hey, this Jesus character was bogus. Don't listen to him. He's trying to corrupt our Jewish tradition. He's a blasphemer." And he was out to disprove Jesus. Jesus was already dead. Jesus rose again, ascended into heaven, and the Saul character comes and starts persecuting Christians and killing them, bringing them to justice, saying, "Listen, you can't follow this Jesus because he's not speaking the truth."
Oh.
Well, Saul is traveling one day, and he gets struck off of his horse, falls on the ground, and is blinded by a light, and the light physically blinds him, and says, "Why are you persecuting me? You need to go to the city and talk to this person." So he gets back on his horse with the help from his people who are with him. He goes to the city, and he meets a man who he was supposed to meet, and this man takes some mud and wipes them on his eyes and wipes the blindness away. He can see again. And Saul changes his name to Paul and is therefore born again into not persecuting Christians or believers, but taking up the cross of Jesus, the sacrifice of Jesus, and realizing that Jesus was actually the fulfillment of all the Hebrew scriptures that came in the Old Testament that he had grown up reading. Kind of the fulfillment of ancient texts. The Messiah, the one who would deliver all men from their sin, from their bondage to this world, so they could access the grace of God and live in the love of God and love one another how we were supposed to from the beginning, but we could never quite figure it out. So, I'm pulling a Phuntsok where I'm riding the horse. I'm going on a thought. So can I keep going, or do you want to take a break?
Keep going.
All right. So Galatians, that verse where it's Paul, this man Paul, who was converted. He had a transformation, and he dedicated his life to Jesus, and he wrote all kinds of letters to different cities: Corinth, Galatia, Thessalonica, and these letters, physical letters that he wrote to church leaders that he was trying to plant, to start churches, because people were starting to hear about Jesus, and they're like trying to figure out what to do. So he was helping people start churches, and he was giving people guidance. And he didn't know Jesus personally when Jesus was alive, but he wrote like 80% of the New Testament. So a lot of what we read in the New Testament Bible is Paul's letters, his advice to people, his teachings. So not Jesus' teachings, I will add that caveat, but they're teachings that he learned from people who actually were alive that did know Jesus, but also that he received from God, holy teachings. So he says, it is not me who lives, but Christ who lives in me. And that idea is that as a Christian, we are supposed to remove the earthly desires from our bodies, our minds, and become empty vessels for the holiness of God and the sacrifice of Jesus to manifest in ourselves the love that God has for people, that God has for his creation. And it's kind of that simple, but it's also, I think, takes a life to figure out how to apply that, where you apply and you work on your connection to the other, the divine source, the great thing that ties all people together. I think that's my understanding of what Phuntsok does with meditation. You're trying to lose yourself, you're trying to connect yourself to a bigger power. I would say in my Christianity, I would say the Great Spirit, I would say God. Through that, Jesus came down to earth to show us how to do that. He was part man and part God. And when Paul says, it is not I who lives in me, it is the Christ that lives in me, he's saying, it's not what I want here in this world, it's what God wants, it's what Jesus was trying to do. That I have to make that more important than what I want. Or else Jesus' work isn't going to get done. God's work isn't going to get done. And it's the work of love, the work of compassion, the work of feeding the poor, the work of constantly putting your own interests on the chopping block. And we have to take care of ourselves, right? We can't just sacrifice ourselves endlessly, or else there's nothing there. And that's the balance that I think is the work of the walk of a good Christian faith. Any good faith. You can't just think about your meditations. You have to actually do the walk of the meditating. And then you're not just doing that to make Phuntsok better. You're doing that so you could have more patience for the dude sitting across from you.
True.
Right? It's all about relating to that outside world. So
Beautiful.
that was kind of a lot.
No?
And that has reminded me that I need to go back to school on my own faith too. You know?
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
Okay. I just took Phuntsok to church. I just took myself to church.
Beautiful. You bought a guitar?
Yeah. Do you want to switch gears a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking about meditation. The past few episodes, you have led us in some beautiful meditations. A compassion meditation. This year is a self-proclaimed year of compassion by the Dalai Lama. Is it 90th year?
Birthday.
Yeah. So happy birthday to His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And I thought your compassion meditation was beautiful. You did a meditation very applicable and I would say useful meditation on the analogy of the bus driver. We're driving a bus and we have people getting on our bus, getting off our bus, but we still have to be focused on love, and even the route that we're taking, we have to kind of keep our focus on what's next. And our intent, what we're trying to do there. We're trying to serve people, we're trying to keep people safe. And I found that to be a really nice, just kind of like useful. I mean, that's not a good word, but so
Relatable.
Relatable, yeah. And my meditation is music, and I find that sometimes if I am frustrated or if I'm lacking focus or if I've lost connection with my purpose here, that I'll play music, maybe for a moment, or I'll write a song that can be very meditative for me. Music is a meditation where I can stop and I can just slow down. And it's kind of like there's a movie happening, and if you pause a frame and you study that frame, you can look at the beautiful flower that's on that branch of that tree, and then you notice that flower, and right next to that flower there's a little bird that you didn't even notice. And then if you go further up in the tree, you realize that there's a little squirrel sitting there. And then you look down, and there's this whole bed of grass that you didn't even notice, and there's a little butterfly on a blade of grass. And then there's this little stream running behind there you didn't even notice because the movie was moving so fast. But it's like a freeze frame. And to me, that's what a song is. When I write a song, it's a very devoted moment of prayer for me, where I can stop time, I can stop the movie, and I can just focus on one frame. And maybe it's a frame that is one of my emotions. Maybe it's a frame of a thing I noticed, that an interaction between two people, strangers, an act of love that I saw, an act of sadness that I saw. So songwriting and music is my form of meditation.
Beautiful.
So I thought I could play something, and
Eagerly excited and waiting.
okay. And let me invite you, Phuntsok, if you, during my music, I'm not sure what I'm going to play. I have an idea, but it may go a different direction.
Well, you want me to do a guided meditation on the...
If you feel something welling up in you, that if this is speaking to you and you feel like bringing some words to this moment, please do.
This is organically, just see how it flows.
Yeah.
Don't you think it's better you play yourself, or
Well,
I don't know.
I don't know. Let's just try it. I'm gonna play a little bit.
You play. I'll
Do that one.
I'll listen.
All right.
All right, gently allow your body to settle into comfortable. I'm just kidding. You just go. You don't want to. This episode, I just want to take a back seat. Go ahead. Can I close my eyes?
You sure can. I'm going to tilt this downward here. We're going to pause just
take a
second.
deep breath then?
Take a deep breath. Turn this way a little bit here. Okay.
You're going to play with the rhythm of my breathing, or you just want to play with... Beautiful.
I'm playing a classical guitar, 6-string.
I'm curious what you're going to play. Thank you. Beautiful. I was letting go into spaciousness through the music, honestly. So I just noticed myself, listening to the sound, listening to the music, and I noticed the experiences happening. And I just noticed myself. I'm the space in which all these sound, this hearing, and this, all of this comes and goes. I did. For a moment, I just had a glimpse of that I'm here in this moment. So, thank you for playing that. It's just gentle, a good, gentle reflection on, spaciousness of all the things. So, thank you.
I appreciate that. I like that you said that you just noticed you were in this moment, because that's very much what I love about music, and about playing music, is you are in that moment, and it's a real honoring of that moment. And there's no past, and there's no future, and it's right now, and it's all there is. And that's such a great reminder for me, who grew up in a very Western mindset that isn't always about the moment.
Just this moment, just as it is. I just was embracing the sound, the music, and all of that, and just noticed my sensation, my perception, my emotion, my thought, my breath. I was just witnessing that. So,
on that note,
let me clarify something that you touched, something about self, not self. When I was saying about no self, there is no independent self, I wasn't saying that self is something that we need to destroy it, or self is not something to be destroyed, but it is something to be seen through, like mist dissolving in sunlight. You see, self is not a thing to find or lose something, but it's a process. So letting go of clinging to I, mine, it's opening up to more freedom, more connection, more peace. So when you awaken yourself in that our true nature, empty of self but full of life. So when I was talking about, I think we talked about emptiness at one point. Did we? I talked about emptiness. It's not nothingness. I clarified that too, right? At one point, but the absence of inherent independent existence. When I was saying there is no such thing as independent, inherently existed self. This is a misconception. There is no self, but not because we are nothing, but because we are so interconnected, interdependent, and it's fluid, right? So it's ever changing. So clinging on to self as, there is I, I'm that. That will lead to dukkha. We call it in Sanskrit. Dukkha means suffering, because from that arises suffering. So that's what Tibetan masters would say. So, but at the same time, you're right that we have to acknowledge that we exist. But clinging on to the self as something real, and then I and mine and all of that is a source of suffering. To me, to know that there is no self is a very profound and very liberating. So there's no fixed, unchanging I. So anyway, it's going to be too long.
I think that's. I think we keep revisiting that idea because that's a deep, very, very cultural notion that I don't easily get, and I like to keep revisiting it. So thank you for bringing us back to that idea of the emptiness not being nothing, because that's sort of what I think my Western mind thinks. So there's a lot here. As true with all of our episodes, we get somewhere near a nice ending point, and we open a can of worms. That's like, well, wait a second, we need a whole nother hour, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel that way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always feel that whatever I said is not complete, and I left
Yes.
my listeners or our audience,
Yeah.
half-hearted kind of.
Yeah. And it's just the nature of not being on a script either. So we try to wrap things up nice, folks, and they don't always. So I think today we try to leave you with different ways to think about meditation. We're going to keep revisiting the emptiness of things and how it's not a bad thing for all of we Westerners who are thinking that is. Phuntsok, thank you for sharing your tradition with me today. I really value it. I don't understand it, but part of it I understand really deeply, and I think that's the part that keeps me engaged, is I don't know why I get it, the parts that I do. And there's a lot that I don't get, but there's a part that's like, oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. And it's super cool revelation for me to have.
I have a lot of questions to ask, but I don't get to ask because I keep talking about my stuff. So the things that I wanted to ask was about the Father, the Son, the
Holy Spirit.
Mm-hmm. And also just to see how it connects with the other belief systems, right? Like Tibetan Buddhism or such. I have those questions.
It's great.
Or how, in the last episode, how Pope.
Yes.
Yeah, you said you're gonna.
Yes.
I didn't get a chance to ask. Can I ask that in the next episode or some?
Yep, I need to do a little school on that, and then I can. So it's not my tradition. The Catholic tradition is very separate from a Protestant tradition, and we can go into that, why that is too, and I can do a quick little mini history lesson on why there's such different Christian traditions. But that Catholic tradition of the Pope is pretty unfamiliar to me, so let me learn about that. But
Okay.
I would love to talk about that. And Holy Spirit and Rikpa, I think, are the same thing. I'm going to lay that out on the table for my listeners, and for us too to talk about.
You sure?
Yeah.
How do you know?
I don't, but I just have a feeling like we are talking about the same, I'm going to say, force.
We're going to explore that. We don't know for sure. I don't know for sure.
No, and you're going to tear me apart, I know, because you got that look in your eye where the debate, the chance of the debate has occurred.
The core essence, the main thing is not to debate, but just to explore.
Yeah.
I'm learning.
You do like debates, though. I think I do know that about you. You like a good debate.
Intention is to get to the core understanding of what is the true nature of that your being and my being and all the phenomena.
Dharma, dreams, and donuts.
There you go.
Phuntsok, let's wrap it up.
Thank you, Mark.
I love you, brother. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for the music. I can't thank you enough.
My pleasure.
Viewers, listeners, thank you so much for listening.
We'll see you next
Tibet
time
USA.
on Tibet USA.